Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders. Great millstone, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is going to be a quick lesson. I want to get into a few news videos. All right, bringing out the news, bringing out the prophecies. It's going to be quick, straight to the point. I want to start off here in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 1 in the NLT. And it says, "And I will climb upon my watchtower and stand at my guard post. There I will wait to see what the Lord says and how he will answer my complaint." And how he will answer my complaint. It says, "Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly upon tablets, so that the runner can carry the correct message to others." And that's likely unto us, likened unto us. Pretty much, we know the scripture says this, and the scripture says that, and what will happen in this time, and what will happen in that time. So basically, we're constantly watching and waiting for the Lord, what he's about to do in the earth. That's what we're on, okay? That's what the prophets do. And we're constantly watching and seeing that World War III is developing in the background. The Lord spoke about World War III. The third war cometh. The third woe cometh. All right? Spoke about in the book of Revelations. We also know that famine is coming, meaning great hunger. Great hunger is coming upon this place. Great hunger. Sedition among men is coming. All right? Civil war is coming to America. These are the things that the Lord said to write down and make it plain upon tables. It says, "Write my answer plainly upon tablets, so that a runner can carry the correct message to others." So we're trying to warn you of the things to come, especially our people, you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, who are Israelites. All right, that's not your nationality. You're not a Negro. You're not a Latino, a Mexican. You're not a Cuban. You're not a Native American. All right. You see how the white man came in and stole this land from us. All right. See how he brung us over here. All right. The Southern tribe, and then hung us up from trees and cut our bodies open and fed our babies to alligators. All right. So the Lord didn't forget. The Lord didn't forget. And I'm going to bring out some articles and we're going to get some scriptures. It says, Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 in the NLT. It says, "The Lord said unto me, write my answer plainly up on tablets, so that a runner can carry the correct message to others." This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. That's right. And it will not be delayed. So, this vision, meaning a token, meaning a prophecy, this vision is for a future time, the Lord said. All right? The vision is for a future time. All right, check this out. 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verses 1. And it reads, "And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself." And that's why Habakkuk wrote about he will stand up on his watch. Because standing up on your watch, ultimately, you're measuring the time diligently in itself when you stand up on the watch. All right? Measuring it by what the scriptures say, what the Lord is saying through the Holy Bible. It says, "And when thou seest part of the signs pass," the signs that are passing on World War III, this technology building up to the micro C-hip, the mark of the beast. You see all these signs passing. You see civil war in the streets brewing up. All right, uproars of the people. You see earthquakes in diverse places. all types of storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, volcanoes erupting, Tonga. You see all types of things in the sky. You got different things happening in the earth. You got a dense fog covering places. You got the UFOs showing up everywhere. Drones everywhere. You don't know if it's a drone or a UFO. People in New Jersey a few years ago or a year ago, you got all types of signs in the heavens. The Lord told you that all these things are going to be signs to let you know that He's visiting the earth. It says, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. How did He tell us before? In these scriptures. And one of the examples you can get as to when He told us before was in the book of St. Matthew's, right? And Mark and all through the scriptures. But this is my example here. All right, so I turned that off. Let's do this. Let's do this real quick. Slucky. I don't know what the hell I just did. Yeah, I turned it off. Because I don't like... Okay, never mind. So Matthew... Bear with me, y'all. Matthew 24 and 6. Yeah, this is when He told us before. Matthew 24. And let's start at 6. And I'll do it in NLT. And you will hear of wars and threats of wars. And that's what we're hearing right now. But don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. And that's a hard truth that we're experiencing as Israelites today. We're experiencing that. But the Lord told us that. He knew that we were ready to go home, like He said, but the end won't follow immediately. So that means that we got to go through more. He just made it known right there in red letters, man. And some of you might be, you just ready for the Lord to come back. And we need the Lord, man. But the Lord wants some of us to see this shit. He wants you to see it, man. He wants you to see this, what's about to happen. Man, that just poked out to me right there, bro. Something about it, It says, and you will hear of wars and threats of wars, but don't panic. Right. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Verse 7, nation will go to war against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world, so it's going to get worse, right? And that's what we're seeing, famines and earthquakes. It says, but all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. See, those birth pains talked about in Second Esdras, what is that, chapter 9? But this is only the first of the birth pains. In the KJV, it says all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. All right, so the things that we're seeing right now are tokens from the Lord. The Lord is clearly telling you that I'm coming. I'm about to crack the clouds. Don't you feel it in your heart? Don't you feel it? You can feel it, man. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows. Right. So I'm going to get to the videos. Let's get to the videos. We're just letting you know what's happening in the earth. All right. That's all it is. I'm just letting you know what's happening in the earth. And let's read, man, we can read this whole thing, man. We'll read this whole thing. Let's go into it.
now, and there's something very insidious going on right now, and I don't think it's what you think it is.
When things looked really bleak, it was Minnesota's first that held that line for the nation on that July 3rd, 1863. And I think now we may be in that moment.
I think part of the responsibility is also on the Democratic Party because it's dangerous. Now we know these guys are not well trained. Something could happen. You could be totally following all the rules. You're just standing there filming totally within your constitutional rights, and all of a sudden, 20 seconds later, you're dead. What would compel a person, a good person in my opinion, to go out there and say this is worth the risk? Because look, there's a lot of other things going on right now that I think we should be in the streets about. Okay, number one, Epstein files. Okay, none of the pedophiles involved have been arrested. There's no investigations. That's an issue. The other issue, spraying food with pesticides, poisoning the food system. Why isn't the Democratic Party or the Republican Party unifying people and saying this is so bad we need to take to the streets to make sure that we get clean food? It's none of that stuff. It's just about how do we manipulate the population. Just last week, they passed a law saying that they can now, from 2028 onwards, remotely shut down cars.
It was supposed to be if you're drunk driving, they can look at you and they should. We know that ain't the case.
No.
We know James is going to say he's against Bibi Netanyahu and he ain't going to the next stoplight, ladies and gentlemen. They're stopping you right in your fucking tracks.
Look, I'm keeping the car that I have, okay? But my point is, these are all very legitimate issues to be exercising your First Amendment rights
100%.
over, but they choose the issue that's the most divisive, which is like a wedge issue around immigrants. Like, you can be pro-immigrant, you can be anti-immigrant. There's no really right or wrong answer to that because based on your background and what you believe a country should be. Some people are like, we just want to be us. Like, Scotland should be Scotland. Like, we should have...
Now check out Kim Iverson.
Elon Musk's free speech platform X has been censoring anti-Israel voices. Stu Peters discovered that you could actually find out whether or not your account is being limited, censored, shadow banned, and it actually tells you even why. And the results of this are shocking. The people who are being limited and censored are anybody who's anti-Israel. They're being labeled as hate and harassment, and people who are pro-Israel, even if they're actually quite vile and they've actually been in support of genocide, their profiles are listed as neutral and they instead get boosted. Now, some people are saying this is not real. They're like, oh, this isn't real. Grok is just guessing. Even if Grok is guessing, Grok is probably guessing somewhat accurately. We ran, my profile, and my profile is limited. This is my account when I ran it for me. It says repeated framing of Israel as controlling global power, promotion of conspiracies linking Jewish Zionist donors and influence to regime change and media control, content alleging Zionist influence in U.S. politics, and it says hidden reputation score. They've given me a -65 to -78. But it's not just me, plenty of other people. Here's somebody that I actually was able to look up several other accounts. This is Johnny Graz. You'll be shocked to find out that not one pro-Israel account is treated in this manner, no matter how outrageous their posts are. Let's check out a few. And he checked out this long list of pro-Israel accounts. All of them are getting plus 90 to 95% boost, plus 88 to 94%, plus 90%. So the free speech platform of X, you're not allowed to have free speech. Now, some of this has been corrected. When we went back and actually looked at some of the scores, now that people have discovered this and they've been sharing it, some of the scores have been changed to neutral. And again, people are saying, well, that's not real. I think this is believable. I think it's more believable than not, considering it was very consistent on all of the anti-Israel voices got these negative ratings and people that were pro-Israel got positive ratings. This is outrageous. The free speech platform is absolutely not free speech at all, it turns out.
While you were busy today, the U.S. passed a law that they can cut off your car remotely. Leading the law today was Randy Fine, and this bill passed with Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly voting for it. They say this bill is to stop drunk drivers by giving the police buttons that can turn off the computers in cars. But they conveniently left out the part where it's only legal to do so when it's a drunk driver. Now the police legally have full authority to turn off anyone's car for anyone's reason. Things like this don't make it in the news, but they make it on my account. Follow me here, subscribe to my YouTube. While
Field, an
you were busy today, the U.S. passed a law that they can...
But what happens when you have officers in the United States fly over into Israel and they train with the IDF soldiers? They train with them in domestic terrorism tactics. If you go and train with these people who are doing these human rights violating tactics and maneuvers and murders and cold-blooded killing, then you train so that you can bring it over here into your city, our cities. You really have to conceive of something here. And that is that evil, wicked, rich people don't give a damn about the average person. They don't care. See, when you think that people genuinely care the way you care, that's where you make the mistake. Thinking that these rich people, some of them, genuinely care. They don't. So what's happening over there, I believe, will happen here. Why am I saying that? We have something called ICE. It's causing a divide between a number of people, and that's because some people fell into the psychological trap. Well, these illegal immigrants are taking our jobs. Okay. Well, these illegal immigrants are criminals. Yeah. Well, these illegal immigrants, they're doing this, they're doing that. I agree with certain things. I definitely do. But ICE, who was rounding up not just illegal immigrants, just so you know. ICE rounded up people who are not illegal. ICE rounded up people who are black, born in America, people who are born here. They have rounded up people in a terrible way. They are absolute vigilantes given a license to do whatever the hell they want to do, and they cover their faces, don't show their identities. You have to be mindful here. Hold on. If you want to say, well, Reza, hold on now, bro. I'm with you, but we got this issue with the brown folk, and we got this issue with these folks, and I hear all of that. Here's what I want us to look at. What can they do to us with what they are saying they are doing for us? If they say, well, ICE is here to protect the people who live in America, to secure our borders, to secure our streets, okay, sounds noble, sounds nice, sounds righteous. Remember who you're hearing it from. The same bastards who tell you that the food is safe, it's fine, that the vaccines are safe, they're fine. It's okay. Things are good here. America's the greatest nation on earth. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, you're listening to the same people who lied to you on a daily, and now they're saying, well, ICE is here to help you.
Yeah, see, ICE ain't here to help you, man. All right? You know, we ain't trusting in our enemies, man. All right? You see countless examples of what they've done to us in the past, man. All right? Countless examples of what they've been doing to us, man. This is Sirach, the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. And it says, never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. Right? Who's your enemy? Esau, Edom. All right? No matter how much he says that he's with you, this devil has proven record that he is against us. He is against you. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And he's a wicked person. Though he humbled himself, yeah, he humbled himself by passing different policies and laws and trying to act like in different holidays and all types of stuff like that. Martin Luther King Day and all this bullshit. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. So it's going to be like Habakkuk told us, man. It's going to be plain up on tables. 1 + 1 is 2. It ain't going to never be 11. You see? It says, and thou shalt know that his rust has not altogether been wiped away. He's the same devil that put us into slavery, that hung us from trees, threw our babies to alligator bait, buck breaking, all those things, man. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. That's right. That's right, man.
COVID was, for me, like rehearsal.
There will absolutely be an outbreak of another pandemic. It may be next year.
You know, we just need to mess around. There's a lot of lipid nanoparticles, and some are very self-assembly.
We know what's next. A new wave of pandemics is going to be upon us.
I'm convinced that there will be another pandemic.
Oh, certainly we'll have one in the next 25 years. There's even some pathogens out there that we're watching over right now. And so I'd probably put bioterror, which is a really awful.
We are going to see a whole new age of biological weapons. We have to grapple with that reality because that is what is coming.
I can't go into all the details, but there are man-made threats that we were prepared to deal with.
When the next pandemic comes knocking, and it will, we must be ready to answer decisively.
We'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
So apparently there's a virus on the rise that cannot be cured. And again, this virus comes from overseas. And again, this virus can be contracted from fruit bats. Tell me what that sounds like to you. This virus is called Nipah. Rare, extremely dangerous. And when it shows up, it doesn't announce itself. This is a virus that they're saying has no cure. And if they're saying that a virus has no cure, it deserves a lot of attention. You gotta remember, we watched this movie play out in 2020. Saw the videos of people passing out. We ignored early warning signs. And then we watched how things spiraled out. We watched how people got sick. We watched how people lost their lives. And then we watched the blame be passed from one country to the next. Nipah jumps from animals to human beings. And sometimes from person to person. Again, fruit bats carry it. They're saying it spreads through contaminated food, surfaces, and physical contact. And again, here's the part that people don't like hearing. There is no cure. There is no approved vaccine. Doctors can only manage the symptoms and hope your body holds up. It's saying that the early symptoms look mild. Fever, headache, muscle pain, vomiting, sore throat. That's the stuff people usually brush off. And then it escalates. Severe breathing problem, brain inflammation, seizures, coma, death. Saying that past outbreaks hit fatality rates up to 75%. That's unreal. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When information moves slow, viruses don't. Transparency isn't optional. It's the difference between control and chaos.
Anturma chaya no Kamahu anuri, no Kamai, no Kawaka, na anuri, no Yuyua. Man, I
don't even want to hear that shit, man. See, it's all types of enchantments going up, man. In Mystery Babylon. This is a place of great, great wickedness, man. I mean, you can't even imagine the tunnels that they got up under this place, the human trafficking. They still ain't put the Epstein list out. Why? They're trying to let you know that they're the devil, man. Your kids are not safe. Your kids are not safe. The people are not safe. The people are not safe. All right? The people are not safe, man. The people are not safe here. All right? This is the book of Revelations. Revelation chapter 17. And I'll start at 1. It says, "And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and he talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." It's talking about America, man. "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." These are all enchantments, man. "Through strong drink. So he carried me away in the spirit," verse 3, "into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication." That's talking about America, man. "And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth." Mystery Babylon. That's America, man. That's America. All right. This is a huge enchantments upon the people, man. All right. This is Isaiah 47, verse 6, and it says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show us them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. That's right. Upon the Israelites, man. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. See, America's about to be destroyed. They just don't understand, man. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall sit a widow, neither I shall not sit a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come upon thee in a moment, in a day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, man. For the great abundance of thine enchantments.
Why should I?
They're completely putting enchantments on you, man. They're performing a witchcraft ritual here, right in front of your faces, and you still trust in them. You still trust in these devils. Right? You trust these devils, man.
You have a small elite that pushes things in its own interests, even if it doesn't benefit the vast majority of the population. This has happened so many times previously in history, and it's probably going to happen again. One of the biggest dangers to the planet today is this technological utopia, because probably for the elite it will work. If bad comes to worst, and when the flood comes, the scientists will build a Noah's Ark for the elite, leaving the rest to drown, the rest of the people and then the rest of the ecosystem. But they are likely to be able to construct this technological Noah's Ark, which is probably what much of the
Bill Gates isn't trying to feed the world, he's trying to own it. Back in 2022, Bill Gates dropped hundreds of millions into biotech baby formula companies. Why? Because he knows breastfeeding is one of the last natural connections between an infant and its mother, and they can't be having that. They want synthetic dependence from day one. If they can control what feeds the baby, they control everything that baby becomes. Gut health, hormones, immune system, brain development, all programmed from the bottle. And don't even get me started with that baby formula shortage that coincidentally happened as soon as Bill Gates started investing into these companies. That was not a supply chain issue. That was a beta test. They wanted to see how fast moms would cave to biotech solutions with just a little bit of panic. What a majority of people don't understand is that formula isn't food, it's infrastructure. They're rewriting the blueprint of human biology. First they go after baby food, then meat, then water, and then your DNA. All patented, trademarked, and all safe and effective.
And that is the goal, to make TikTok a mostly apolitical platform, except for the politics that have been approved by intelligence. This is from Mint Press News. TikTok is being run by a bunch of Unit 8200 agents, which is the Israeli version of the NSA. Root Medallion, who works on the trust and safety team on TikTok, based in New York. And would you look at that? Israeli Military Intelligence Unit 8200. Here's another one. Omer Carmeli, global marketing at TikTok, former field operations specialist, IDF Elite Intelligence Unit. Einav Mir, client solutions manager at TikTok, And she used to be, would you look at that, a web intelligence analyst for the Israeli military Unit 8200. Probably just a coincidence, right, guys? Okay, this is important information to know. Former Unit 8200 agents working hand in hand with the Israeli National Security State have gone on to create some of the world's most notorious malware and hacking products. A case in point is the Pegasus software used to spy on more than 50,000 journalists, politicians, diplomats, business leaders, and human rights defenders. And that is...
As far as this TikTok stuff, right? You know what they really trying to do? All right. See, the Israeli intelligence has infiltrated America as far as ICE, the whole government, you know, and they want control over these apps. All right, so ultimately they can put you on list by what you post. They got you on all types of lists, and at a moment in history, coming real soon, they're gonna come and get you and round you all up, round all of us. They're gonna try to round us all up, man. Every single one of them. If you ever reposted something or liked something or things like that, yeah, they're gonna come and get you. That's what this is all about. That's why they're gonna eventually have to implement that mark of the beast, the chip. It's for traceability, man. Traceability.
Hey, fool, TikTok is cooked, bro. Ever since the U.S. got control of TikTok, they are now censoring shit. You can't even type this man's name, make a video about him. If you do, it's going to get flagged. Let alone you can't even put it in the comments, or you can't send a DM. So that means they just watching your messages too. You got no privacy. This is straight control. All this, they should have went on and just banned the app because they got control of it, and now they fucking running this shit to the ground.
Yeah, so you can't type this because they don't want you to know that they're the ones that have been taking your children. They won't put out that list. They're not going to, because they're clearly showing you who the devil is. They're clearly showing you that they work for Satan, man. These are wicked people. And as long as you sit there and act like it's not happening, and act like everything's cool, then you are ultimately, going to be had in derision, man. You got to get right with the Lord. This is the man of sin, the son of perdition. All right, this is a demon, man, that we're messing with, right? That we're dealing with here. Like, he's not your average. Okay, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3, and it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." That's this devil that's controlling everything. All your apps, your entertainment, your whatever it's called, man. Even down to like do private equity firms, your housing, your everything, your jobs, your banks, everything, man. All right, and ultimately they want to control everything. They want to put that chip inside you and track your footprint, track everything that you do. All right, this is all about traceability. This is all about, these devils showing you that you don't have any power. All right. It says, this man right here, Esau Edom, so-called white man, verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is Yahweh Bashmi Oshai. He's showing himself. So if they can totally control you and sit in your temple, all right, via that RFID microchip, all right, then they got you, man. And you done failed the test. And the Lord's going to come and destroy you along with this place. This is the son of perdition, the man of sin. All right. Verse 7, let me skip down. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." And the Lord, Yahweh Shemi Shai, is letting him build himself up, boast himself in the land, ultimately to take them down, because the Lord's going to have to be the one to take this system down. The Lord alone is going to have to do it. All right. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Yeah, Esau, Edom. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed. And now these days, Isaiah 47 is speaking. Esau, Edom is being revealed as the devil the Bible speaks of, man. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, yeah, through his prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yeah, he's going to come in a chariot, a huge so-called UFO, all right? And he's going to destroy this place, along with nuclear missiles, all right, and the angels of the Lord. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, talking about Esau, Edom, with all power and signs and lying wonders, power and signs and lying wonders. He lies through all these things, man. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. That's right. So he's gathering souls to his beast system. All right. He's separating. All right. They're totally divided in the streets. Civil war is brewing up in the background. All right. Pretty much that's it, man. All praise on the glory. Hopefully this message was edifying. Never trust your enemy, man. Shalom.